Hi everybody. Tonight I am talking to an amazing woman who I have met literally in the last couple of weeks, called Carina Bently. And I just really want to get to have a good old chat with you, Carina, because we've both, you joined before I did, but I've just literally in the last 2 weeks been introduced to the iTeracare magic wand, the 3 technologies in one. And I've got to say, Carina, my mind is blown away. It's like my life has suddenly completely and massively changed. And you've been a real inspiration because you're doing some great Facebook Lives and you're full of knowledge. And I've seen some great testimonials. I interviewed, obviously, Annette the other day.
I saw it. It was amazing. Absolutely amazing. I watched it live.
Stunning. And you've got some amazing testimonials. And I don't just want to talk about your testimonials tonight. I just want to meet you. You know, people think you're great and you're full of so much knowledge and information and research. So over to you, darling. How did you get into
Thanks. Well, okay, let me give you a little bit of background. So I am a nurse by profession, and worked in general nursing, but later worked in aesthetics and cosmetics. So I was one of the first people in the UK to train in NDAG and IPL laser, so intense pulse light. And actually, the reason that I say that is because it's important in understanding how to get the best results from this wand as well, because the frequency and the laser and, you know, understanding the anatomy of the body and the way that it works and stuff like that. So I'm a real green personality, right? I'm a real green. I need, if I'm going to use something or try something, I want to know everything about it. I want to know how it works, when it works, what it does. You know, I'm going to tear it apart. I'm going to ask a million questions. And I've done loads of research. You know, I've been in the truth movement now for the last 2 years. I've done loads of research on loads of things, and research me and educating people and breaking things down for people and helping to empower people with knowledge was like a really, really important, massive thing for me, you know. And it was a passion that, you know, I kind of harnessed inside myself and I've shared with people. But when I found this wand, not even just when I found it, when I used it as well, because when I found it, I was like you, I couldn't believe it. I was like, I looked at these testimonials and I was like, really? And that was why I started researching it, right? Because I was like, how? Right? So I was like, I have to know, right? So I started to research. Literally, I started to look I basically broke down every element of the technology, the terahertz frequency part, the optical crystal quartz delivery system with the tubing, the scalar quantum. And I went deep. I went into rabbit holes that, like, I thought I was never going to get out of, right? Couldn't sleep. But when I looked at it, I was like, oh my God, this is, it's the closest thing you're ever going to get to a portable med bed, in my opinion, right? The power of having something like this. And then obviously I actually got the device myself, and I was like, at no point was I skeptical, because I understood what the technology did, right? So I thought, it has to work, right? It's going to work. But at the same time, until you actually use it yourself, and I used it for emotional and mental healing. You know, I've got a long-term history of mental health disorders, and unfortunately I suffer with something called psychosis, which involves intrusive thoughts and intrusive visions. I haven't had it for 4 years. I haven't had an attack, and unfortunately probably mid-April I started to get an attack, and it lasted until probably mid-June. I really couldn't see a way out of it, and it's hard to believe, probably looking at me now, and it's hard for me to believe looking at me now, but a couple of the people that I was close to at that time, you know, it was a really awful time, and I genuinely, hand on heart, thank the universe, God, every day for this device coming into my life, because it changed my life. And it literally did it within a couple of treatments, like 4 or 5 minute treatments. I worked on my chakras.
How did it change your life? Because I know with your mum, like, she's got skin cancer, and that's like, you've seen results with that.
Yeah. So my mum was like an after thing for me. Well, not an after thing, that sounds horrible. What I mean is,
I know what you mean.
The effect that it had on me was like, no one could see it, right? Because even on my social media, people knew I was low, and they knew I was depressive. You can go back and you can see my posts, you can see it. But nobody had seen me. And a few people had heard voice notes of me, and they're the people that are like, oh my God, listen, they brought this one straight away. After speaking to me, they were like, I'm in, right? I've got to have this. but no one could see it. So my mum, that was a visual thing. Yeah, I knew what it did inside me. But for me, it was like the very first treatment I did, it's such a difficult thing to try and explain. I think it was like, I felt a sense of calm. Obviously, I worked on my chakras, so I had because it was the auric field, because it works really well on the auric field. And I know for some people this part sounds a bit woo-woo, right? And it all sounds a bit, oh yeah. But if we think about the chakras and the energy field, and for those people who understand that, this makes sense, right? But I know for some people that's a bit like, oh, it's up in the air.
I think for people that don't understand it, probably won't be listening to this video.
Good.
I'm as woo-woo as they come, and I'll just tell you, Corinne, because we don't really know each other that well. We've made friends on Facebook, and I've been watching your amazing Facebook lives. But I have a real thing about people who are into technology or personal development. I've been a yoga teacher for 35 years, and I've always been connected to woo-woo, and I'm also grounded as well. Yeah. And I get really annoyed when they give some amazing information and say, well, it might sound woo-woo, but it's like we have to make an excuse.
I know.
And we don't have to anymore,
I think that's the challenge with this though, because it's so grounded by science, right? It's so kind of like real. Yeah. But I think there's so much, like you say, misunderstanding, miscomprehension about what it is that we do, what it is, the healing community, this is part of what it's been in my life for a long time now. This is not woo-woo to me, but I know for some people this is, they can't understand the healing of a mental health disorder with something that's a blue beam, right?
Yeah. So it's fascinating. It's fascinating to hear that it had that impact on your mental health, like immediately.
Yeah, from the very first treatment, I started to notice a significant improvement. I'd been doing lots of work over the few days before I received the wand. I've been doing a lot of self-help work. So I started studying neuroplasticity at the start of the year because I have addictive, compulsive elements of my personality that I wanted to work on, and therapy and stuff hadn't really worked. I needed to get to the root cause. So I'd been doing neuroplasticity techniques. I'd been doing meditation, mindfulness. I'd been really working on myself. But that shift that I felt from drinking because it was the water as well, and I'm a massive pioneer of the water. This is a two-part system. You've got to drink the water, you've got to do the treatments. It has to, they have to work together synergistically. Yeah. And I genuinely believe that it was, a setting of my cells. I was so on edge, I was so stressed, and I'd been in that state for such a long time, and my neurons weren't functioning properly. I wasn't getting any dopamine or serotonin releases. I wasn't me. And I just feel like that even from that very first treatment, working down my spine, working from my crown, it just aligned me. That's how it felt. It felt like I was just aligned.
That's amazing. That is amazing. And I guess because of all of those, people don't realize how the connection between the mind, body and the spirit, because that's what I'm into. Like, people don't realize that even your emotional body, is affecting your physical body. 100%. And actually everything is about relationship. Yeah. The whole universe is about the relationship between everything and the environment that we're in. Yeah. And so this device is working on, as you say, the structure of the water. Can you just tell us, do you know a little bit about, can you describe what it does to the water?
So basically it changes the molecular makeup. Okay, so we get told all the time, we see it, right, the hexagonal kind of, that's great, right, and that's what we want it to be in its end state. But what it does, it makes it into a linear molecule, right? So it's basically like dot to dot to dot to dot, okay? And then they eventually link up, all right? But what that does is it makes it easier for it to move around the cells, for it to move around the body, for it to move around the blood, right? It actually increases, so there are many things. The benefits of terahertz water are wide and varied, from, cognitive improvements to regulating healthy weight loss, reinforcing healthy weight loss. But, one of the main functions is it increases your body's potential for hydration by, I think it's up to 35%. It's crazy. Wow. Right? So just the increase in hydration alone is a massive benefit. Now, one of the things that I think people underestimate with just the power of the water our bodies need 2 litres. So I know when we talk about the treatments, you drink it before and you drink it after, right? For me, like, we drink it all day. Like, it's in a water bar. Everyone drinks it in the house. We drink it all day. The body needs 2 litres of water a day to function normally. If I can give it terahertz charged, molecularly perfect water to function, I'm going to do that, right? When I do that, and then my body's, you know, firing on all cylinders, the 2 litres we need on average, right, for sweating, perspiration, you know, for bodily functions, saliva, you know, all these other, the normal bodily functions. Actually, the bit that makes a real difference, if you can go that extra half a litre or a litre on top of that, because that's where the magic is really going to happen, right? That's when it's really going to be able to get to work on, you know, on you know, on hydrating the body effectively and getting into the cells. Because what we're trying to do here is, like, you know, we want to cleanse the cells, we want to nourish them, we want to protect them, right? And it's not, I've said it before, it's not a replacement for supplementation, right? This is not like some one-stop magic wand that's going to, you know, replace every need for a good diet, or for, you know, for good supplementation. That's not what it is. We're talking about getting your body to be performing in optimal conditions, right?
Absolutely.
Because prevention is better than cure. Yes, we know we can't say it cures anything, but if you look at what it's proven, terahertz frequency are proven to do, if you look at the PubMed studies, if you look at the peer-reviewed studies, if you look at the research and the information, we know that it kills mutated cells. Okay. And hopefully most of us will also know what mutated cells are and what they stand for. You know, we also know that it repairs RNA damage. Okay, now we've heard RNA a lot over the last 2 years, usually preceded by the letter M, right?
Yeah.
Right. So, but this is, you know, this is something that can really make a difference to the base, the quantum base of our bodies, you know, the cellular function of our bodies.
This is my language. This turns me on. This makes me tingle. You have a wonderful ability to have this knowledge and to share it.
I feel like that's my core. That's my kind of, like, that's my purpose in this movement.
Totally.
Is to explain it. I feel like that's what it is. But it sets me a light inside, because actually it's like anything else. It's actually very simple to understand if you can break it down to people in small manageable chunks. When you throw in really big long words, you know, molecularly, you know, composited and all, you know, all of these things, it becomes so difficult to digest or read. You know, for me, I'm able to read it and then translate it back to people in a manageable format.
This is what's so important as a teacher. You know, I'm a teacher, and I teach people how to connect to their true nature. I can see that you're very much in your authentic self. You're shining your light to the world, and you're really aware of what your gift is. And that's what I saw immediately in you, because the thing is, this is so new in the UK. Like, this has literally been here for months, like a few months. The whole thing is only about a year old, isn't it?
Yeah.
And so at the moment, bless them, we've got these amazing people in Malaysia and South Asia, East Asia, and all over where this has come from, Malaysia. But we need somebody like you who's really able to take it down into bite-sized pieces where people can understand. Because for me, that's what teaching is all about, and that's what being a good teacher and someone who's able to share the information in a way that people can
receive. For sure.
You know,
I think, do you know what though? I think that's where they've been really clever with this device, because there's no way that they could take this to main market. The MSM would never allow it. The big pharma would never allow it. They would be trampled and cut and debunked, right. And it would be carnage, right? They were very clever in the way that they did this, because what they're going to do is they're going to create a network of teachers, of people like us, who are going to go out into communities and help people. The concept behind it is so clever. Like, it's like, it blows my mind. And I've been in direct sales, you know, for a number of years, 7 years. This is like, oh my God, like the level of being able to help people and impact not just individual lives, but communities. You know, that's the power of this, you know. And so having this ability for us to go and find like-minded people like us, who want to make a difference, who want to make an impact, who want to help people. And let's be honest, this is not, when you can't come to the usage, this is not a complicated device to use. A 3-year-old could use it effectively, right? It's like a hairdryer, right? It's not a complicated device to use. But what you need to have is the education on how to get the best results from it, right? And that for a lot of people, that's going to be like a learning process. I'm just fortunate that because of my background and my past experiences, and my research, like randomly, that it all now connect. This is why I know it's divine timing. I know, because all of these different things in my life and the different people in my life, they kind of came together at this point, and I had to hit that rock bottom. I'm so grateful. If I hadn't been there, who knows? Right.
No, I agree with you on that. And this is part of the frequency of the new earth. This is about being in the flow. I mean, I closed my Pilates studio. I had a studio that I'm living in now for 25 years, and I just closed it just over a year ago because I was so new that I'm here for this truth movement. I've always been awake, and things changed, evolved, and I said to my friend literally about 5 or 6 weeks ago, my friend, I've just been to Ibiza, I said, do you know what, I'm doing some online fitness courses, I'm doing a bit of coaching, I've got my own brand CBD oil, I've done some sales and stuff like that, and I've got things going on, and I'm just turned 61, and you get to that age where you think, well, maybe it's time to slow down a bit and sort of just eat a bit more and not worry so much about it, and just and like inside I'm going, no, I'm here on purpose, like I've got work to do. And this just fell into my lap, Annette sort of talked about it, and I was and then I just knew, after watching a few testimonials and doing a bit of research, and everyone has said the same. Everyone has said, like, the timing was like, it's just arrived. We're at this crazy point in our evolutionary process at the moment, where the shit is hitting the fan. We don't know what the hell's going on. The BS that's out there. And all of us who are in this truth movement, it's not like we're searching for something. It's like, this is a no-brainer for me. When you hear the testimonials, 100%. And 100%. We know we're ready for this medbed technology, and we know that this is something that's leading us into that quantum, that everything that's available, so the technology that's available to us, it's just like a no-brainer. And at the moment, in the last 2 weeks since I've been in this business, I've sold so many wands, and people are trying it and getting immediate results. I mean, it's unreal what people are sharing. Their eyesight, pain. We've got testimonials groups, and it's really blowing my mind. And
it's amazing. I think seeing the testimonials and seeing the changes that it makes to people. I mean, I see them on a daily basis now, and I'm like, as much as it's a beautiful thing to see, it's a really frustrating thing to see as well, because if you think about potentially how much pharmaceuticals do you think in money?
Don't get me started on big pharma, darling.
But this is it though, isn't it? Like, how much of a dent have we already made? And it's just like, it just annoys me. But listen, people have got to be open to this, right? One of the biggest things about the success of this, and I genuinely believe this, is intention. You have got to believe that you can heal. You will heal. You've got to be open to this. If you've got any kind of negative mindset, we all know about like negative intention, Dr. Yamoghi experiment, with the crystals and the water molecules
and the biology of belief and all of that.
Of course, This is like, you've got to be open to it. You've got to be willing to accept it. But the healing stories that you see are just like, wow, it's like a miracle. And that's why I'm so passionate about sharing it, because I'm like, this is something you think about. I've seen people that have had like, pain or issues that have like literally gone away after a few treatments, right? And I think to myself, somebody said to me the other day, I've been paying £40 a week for a massage. Someone else said to me, I've been paying £65 every 2 weeks for acupuncture. And I'm like, oh my God, this is going to save you so much money. Like, you pay $320 for it once, right? So that was like 4 or 5 treatments that you would usually have. It's already paid for itself for one person.
Yeah, exactly.
I was amazed when they said it was like, I was expected it to be like $2,000 or something like that. I was expecting it to be expensive.
I know, it's crazy. And I'm really excited that I keep seeing more and more things, but I'm excited that you can do something with your skin. One woman was doing it for her skin and her eyesight improved.
I think I've been trying to treat my eyes as well, because my eyesight's not great. But I used it on my skin. I've done 6 facials. I absolutely love it. I mean, like I say, cosmetics and aesthetics is really my thing, but I really kind of like tried to lean away from the cosmetic and aesthetic side of it, only because I feel like it's a massive undersell for what the machines and the thing is, cosmetics and aesthetics is what I've done. Do you know what I mean? So people expect that from me, and I was like, I am not going out there and saying this is this is a facelift machine, because it's like it's a whole new level, like, do you know what I mean? So but I mean, I've used it on my face, and the effects for skin tightening, the effects for, you know, blemish removal, birthmark removal, dark spots, age spots, sunspots, you know, it's a different level. Varicose veins, thread veins, rosacea, like the list is endless of like the cosmetic and aesthetic procedures that can be done with it. So yeah, it just seems like such tiny element for when you're looking at it. Like when I looked at my mum's FCC, still blows my mind. But having the power of something that, you know, in 4 days, you know, the 4-minute treatment, 5-minute treatment, 6-minute treatment, 7-minute treatment, 4 days, 95% reduction on that SCC. I left it for 7 days, so I thought I want to see if it comes back again.
Sorry, what is SCC?
So SCC is squamous cell carcinoma. Okay, it's the 2nd most common type of skin cancer. 8 years ago, my mum had breast cancer. She had a single mastectomy. And she made a full recovery. She had chemo and radiotherapy. She made a full recovery, thank God. And then about a year and a half ago, she was diagnosed with SCC, squamous cell carcinoma. She had something come up on her chest. She left it. She thought it was a skin tag. She left it. By the time she got there, unfortunately, it had grown, and, you know, she had to have it surgically removed. At the same time, they also found 4 more. They said that it's basically a contraindication of the radiotherapy, which has caused the SCC. Now, in the last year, she's had about 30 of them burnt off. So my mum's 70, she doesn't drive. She has to, when she goes to the hospital, she has to have like 6 or 7 of them burnt off at the same time. And then, you know, if any of them have got bigger, then it means they're having to have them like properly cut out. It's a palaver, right? And especially with life as it is right now, right? Trying to get into the appointments, trying to see them, trying to, you know, and my mum's also got COPD. So at the same time, if she gets, like, whenever she has it, she has to also have a course of antibiotics as well to make sure she's protected, and then steroids, and then so yeah, having this and seeing what it did to the one on her arm, I physically watched the cells regress. I watched them regress, and I did it live, and the lives are on my page and they're public.
Yeah, and I we'll put your link. Well, if you want to put your link to Facebook,
yeah, that's fine.
We will, yeah.
They're all there. You can see it for yourself. There's even like in the comments, there's even like little video clips from my mum sending me updates on WhatsApp. You know, it's gone, mum. It's like, I'm like, this is amazing. So we're going to go to when she sees the consultant next time. I'm going to go with her. I think it's about the end of July she goes. So yeah, we're going to continue with the treatments. We've also tried her knee. So she had problems with her knee, arthritis in her knee. We've eliminated the pain in her knee now. She's fine. There's no pain in her knee at all. And now we're going to work on her turkey neck, which is because I said she wanted me to do it. She actually wanted me to do her turkey neck first, and I was like, I think we should probably work on the SCC first before we worry about the turkey neck.
I love it.
I think that's probably, but yeah. So I promised her, hand on heart, that this week I will go and do her turkey neck.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant. Oh, wow.
You're gonna harass the hell out of me. But she says the same thing. It's even just drinking the water. Just drinking the water has made such a massive difference to her. You know, every time I go, I charge up a 7-litre water butt for her, so she's got that water there. Just, yes, it's amazing.
You know, Carina, this is so amazing. The last few weeks, like, I'm really into natural health, right? My husband died aged 25 from cancer, and I was a widowed mum with 2 little boys at the age of 25. And I was a heavy smoker. I was on 40 cigarettes a day I was on 20 cigarettes a day, and then I reduced it, but for 40 years I was a smoker, because that was my way of dealing with what I needed to deal with. I remarried and that, but you know, I've had quite a journey through this lifetime. So the last sort of 10, 15 years, 20 years, I've really been into natural health. I used to teach yoga on yoga retreats all over the world, go around the back and have my smoke, and then come back. You know, I mean, that's who I was. Wasn't proud of myself, but it was my way of dealing with it. And but I've got more and more and more into natural health over the years. And you know, I've done ketogenic eating, you know, cut out all the carbs. But the last sort of 2 weeks since I've been introduced to this machine, it's kind of given me the incentive. I've been doing intermittent fasting again, which I haven't done for a while. So I'm feeling really good about myself. So every time someone orders a magic wand from me, they're going, I can't wait to get it. I can't wait to get it. I can't wait to get it. Well, I'm feeling really good at the moment. My body's feeling good. You know, my skin's looking good. You know, I'm drinking my water that I've got, and I feel okay. So I haven't been desperate for this device. Yeah. I've got no pain. I gave up coffee 2 weeks ago. I was getting pains in my arms. It was coffee. I gave up coffee. The pain went away.
Wow.
But since I have been listening the last week to all these testimonials and listening to you, I'm like, I can't wait to get it now. I can't wait to get it. Can't wait to get it.
I know. All of my guys are the same. They're like, oh my God. They were like, yesterday in the chats, they were like, oh my God, we just got a notification. We've got the DHL notification. Like, oh my God, I'm thinking more excited. I was calling them up going, oh my God, it's so exciting. I can't wait for them to get it.
I didn't hear a word of that, but I get the gist. You said it so fast.
Yeah, it's so exciting. It is exciting though, because it's such a powerful thing to have in your hands. And I think when you know and understand how powerful it is, it's like, I'm blown away. It seems like such a pun, doesn't it? We call it blowing. But yeah, you know,
yeah,
the power of it. But you know, I think we just need to remember that, you know, sharing this with people and helping people to understand what it is, and then helping people to be able to pass it on to other people.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's you know, this is something. Oh, the pain and the energy and the effort and the time it can save for people, you know, and it's with the society crumbling the way it is right now, you know, with the NHS in the state that it is, with treatable illnesses turning into terminal illnesses, you know, things being ignored.
We've got more than ever before, haven't we? I cannot believe how many women, for example, are suffering with fibromyalgia.
Yeah,
I mean, it seems like there's an epidemic in epic proportions of everything. I mean, we know what the doodah is causing,
but it's not just that though, is it? We know that it's because of, you know, if you look at, we're not being armed with the information to be able to protect ourselves from the inside out, you know. Listen, all of even the supplement companies, they're owned by big pharma, do you know what I mean? They're synthetic nutrients.
You did a really good live 2 days or whenever 2 days ago. You've done a brilliant live. I've shared.
I did one today. I did one today talking about, literally, I did one earlier tonight, talking about basically bioavailability and how
that's the one.
Yeah, talking about bioavailability. And the problem is, with the best will and intention in the world, right, we're given this illusion of choice. And I've spoken to people who've said to me, I'm vegan, I only eat organic. And I'm like, right, okay. The soil nutrition depletion, the vegetable and fruit depletion is 40% less than it was 30 years ago, you know. Not only that, but, you know, the supplementation market, we're being lied to. We're being given the illusion of choice. You know, these products, you know, they've got caking agents, filling agents, they've got synthetic vitamins and minerals. Your body can't absorb them. You know, you're not being given the correct information. They're telling you to take vitamin D, but if you don't take vitamin K, your body can't absorb it. You know, if you don't have the full chain, the full spectrum, the full bracelet of all of those vitamins, those trace vitamins, and if they can't get into your cells in the first place, you are wasting. In fact, you're wasting the effort of your kidneys, because all that's going to happen is you're going to flush them out. It's not going to work for you. And we're not being taught the importance of nutrition and nutritional supplementation and gut health.
I couldn't agree more. I have ulcerative colitis. I've healed myself from, you know, my GP. I was off to Bali. I go to Bali every year normally since I was 50. For 10 years I was traveling. I got rid of all the stress in my life. I had my studio running here with teachers I trained up. I knew if I didn't change my lifestyle, if I didn't change the environment I was living in, you know, if I didn't get enough sunshine, if I didn't cut down on the stress and change my eating and just change my lifestyle, I couldn't fix myself. It's all about the environment. One of my very closest friends is a Harley Street naturopath, and she's always talking about you must get good quality supplements, you know, and it costs money to buy these things, you know.
But the thing is this is the thing, right? I've been in nutrition, health and wellness, and I worked with a company about 6 years ago who had the best nutrition, right? The best nutrition products I've ever seen. And actually since then, I wouldn't use anything else. I wouldn't recommend anything else. But the problem was with them is that they were costing me nearly £200 a month, right? Just to get what I really needed to get.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm saying. I've looked for solid 18 months, right, trying to find something that's cold pressed, bioavailable, that gives you the fiber, that improves your gut health, that's going to nourish and cleanse and replenish the cells. And it was impossible to find anything. Do you know why it's impossible? Because of big pharma, all of the compliance that comes down on these natural companies, homeopathic, holistic companies, because you can't say this because of the Cancer Act, and you can't say that because of the Cancer Act, and you can't do this and you can't do that because it's not a medical claim, and it's not this and it's not that. Do you know what? It's disgusting. The fact that we are hidden the basic information that we need to be able to heal our bodies. And it's the simplicity of that frustrates me the most, because when you explain to people the simplicity of bioavailability, the simplicity of understanding how the villi in your digestive tract work, they've got to be buoyant, they've got to be able to catch the nutrients in the first place, but they're not, because we're filled with free radical damage, we're filled with processed foods, pesticides, herbicides, all of the other crap that they put onto us and into us in a day. It's a challenge.
We need voices like us, Carina, because I've been preaching this for a very long time, right? When I used to walk into my studio, we had a fish pond in the garden when I was with my ex. And I used to walk into the studio 15 years ago, more with my green juice. And my customers were like, oh, she's got the pond water again. Making out I was drinking pond water. Because the thing is, people are not educated. I have been blowing this horn for a long time, shouting from the rooftops. And the more of us that can share and spread this message, the better. And I think the last 2 years, from one perspective, is good that people are waking up to the fact that they have the innate ability to self-heal, which is what this wand does. It's not healing you, it's actually assisting your own body in its own healing process. And as for the 5 a day bullshit, I was told a long time ago, 5 a day, we should be minimum 14 a day, 15 a day minimum, but
it's crazy that unfortunately though, that's, like I say, that's the society we live in.
Of course.
I'm at that point now where the people that I want to help to educate are people that are already on this journey, people like you and I, because there's so much out there for us to be able to understand that we can pass on to other people.
Absolutely.
It's going to give them the best potential. Well, ultimately this is all for our children and our children's children, right? This is for the future generations. The chances of us being around to enjoy the fruits of our labor and the power of our voices is unlikely, but I'm a mum of 5, and this is my mission. My mission is to make sure that ultimately my DNA gets passed on perfectly to the next generation, so does theirs, as close as we possibly can anyway. Because the powers that be seem intent on screwing us over to every possible level, right down to our DNA. So if I can help to educate even a handful of people, even 100 people in improving their cells, so that their their DNA, their RNA, that their footprint is preserved.
It's wonderful, and it's just so right. It just, like, you can feel it in your heart. My goosebumps. This is truth. This is what being authentic and connecting to your true nature is about, is wanting to support humanity. Why else are we here? We're all here with a purpose, and so many people are coming on board with this company with the same excitement. Finally, you talked about DNA. What does this do as, finally, I promise, the stem cells? Where do the stem cells come into this?
Okay, so when you work on the spine, the stem cells, so basically stem cells regenerate your organs, right? So the stem cells can create whole new organs, create a whole new liver, a whole new kidney. That's what they're responsible for. So basically it stimulates the stem cells. So what the terahertz technology actually does is it creates a DNA damage response, right? So when the DNA damage response happens, it basically corrects the DNA and the RNA footprint. There's a gene called the P53. It's called the guardian of the genome. It's the miracle of life, the secret to the soul gene. Okay, this is like the gene in your body that you want to be able to preserve, and terahertz frequency resonate at the same frequency as that gene. So helping when we resonate, when we put that kind of like frequency that resonates and vibrates, basically it vibrates all of the cells. So basically what we're doing is we're sifting out the dead ones and the dying ones, and we're eliminating the mutated ones, and then the stronger ones are they're empowered, they're enforced to go out there, they're bouncing around more. We're increasing the microcirculation, so the blood supply to all of the organs.
Got it.
The blood supply, you know, once everything's moving freely, it enables the stem cells to regenerate much faster. So when your stems, because as we get older, our stem cells become less and less effective, right? The teloderms become shorter on the ends of the DNA. It's all like the aging process, the you know, disintegration of the organs, you know, all of these things unfortunately happen to us as we get older, but they get speeded up by external environmental effects, right? So, you know, I'm not even just talking about chemtrails, I'm just talking about like, you know, free radical damage, you know, using deodorants that we spray all over our lymph nodes every day, getting in the shower and exposing yourself to 74,000 chemicals before you even get out of it, because you've washed your hair and you've used a shower gel and you've brushed your teeth, right? This is what people overlook every day. You know, when I talk to people, I'm like, you know, this is my biggest argument with the whole, you know, the virus has 99.6% survival rate, but let's shut down the economy.
Say that again. Slow down, darling.
Sorry,
I need to dissect that. The virus has a
99.6% survival rate. The virus had, right?
Yes.
Now we shut down the whole world. We shut down the economy. We made people wear masks. We couldn't go within 5 feet of each other. We were terrified of each other, okay, because of COVID. Now, because they did this, because they were horrifically worried about us and really concerned about our health, obviously. Now, let's take a consideration of this, shall we? 2 in 5 people die of cancer.
Yeah.
2 in 5 people die of cancer. 3 in 5 people are impacted or affected by cancer during their lifetime. So government powers that be, NHS, the forces that are, please tell me why you can buy cigarettes and you are putting carcinogens in our shampoos, conditioners, baby products, talcum powders, cleaning products, home products, and also in the air and in our water too, because there are carcinogens in all of those things. Now, can we imagine for a second being able to go into your local newsagents and buying a pack of COVID sticks?
Yeah, it's just absolute insanity. I ran out of sun cream in Ibiza, right? I will not put that bullshit sun cream on my body. And I ended up, I found a little organic shop on the beach in Ibiza, so expensive. And I spent 40 quid on a little tub of organic, natural sun cream. And that's, of course, another topic, because they do charge more the healthier it is. It's
exactly,
just, you know, but you and I could talk about this forever.
We could.
I'm so grateful for you with 5 kids, doing this job, doing everything you do, trying to get to the gym, you know, doing these lives. You're an absolute queen, you are.
Well, do you know what? It's been an absolute pleasure. I can actually hear about 10 minutes ago, I could hear my 4-year-old screaming downstairs, and I got the text message that came along the top of my phone from my 17-year-old saying, "Where are you?"
Well, my son.
So on that note,
my son was 39 yesterday. And I thought, bloody hell, but you know what, it's a lot less stressful now.
Yeah.
Even though
I've got a 22-year-old, my oldest is 22, and I don't know, I think she's harder work than all the little ones, to be honest.
Oh wow. So you got 22-year-old.
I've got a 22-year-old, 17-year-old, a 14-year-old, and then I've got an 11-year-old and a 4-year-old.
Wow.
So yes, I went to the full spectrum. So I've got 4 girls and a boy. Poor boy, bless him.
Where's the boy?
Yeah, I'm a single. He's 14.
Okay.
He's either going to be very in tune with women, or he's going to do the sensible thing and be gay and stay away from them forever.
I love it.
No, we joke about it all the time, but yeah, it's I've been a single mum for the last 7 years, and during that time, just like been focused on building businesses and kind of like making sure that the kids were provided for. But yeah, I actually started on this journey because my son had a reaction to the MMR 12 years ago. So wow. that was kind of like what started to wake me up to what was going on, and I ended up leaving the NHS because of that.
Wow.
When I went and investigated it and I looked into it, and I was like, hang on a second. So I started to research, and I was like, hang on a second. A British GP has a whole 18 hours of education and training in vaccinations. 18 hours.
Yeah. It's shocking. It's shocking. And the same for nutrition as well.
Yeah. Miseducation, complete miseducation. Anyway, we'll come and do this another time. Well, maybe we'll do
this another time. You go and sort the kids out. Love you, loads. Thank you so much for your time, darling.
Nice to speak to you.
See you soon. Lots of love.
Take care. Bye.